Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Vrakas Blum April 25th webinar. Today, we're going to be talking about Sage and Scanco Mobility with our guest speaker, Andrew Deal. He's a sales specialist with Scanco. We're hoping to learn all about barcode and sales and the wonderful things that they've created for us. And with that being said, I'm not taking up a lot of time here. I'm going to switch the screen over to Andrew and have him take over. We will be holding questions until the end, so feel free to use the chat or the questions box at the bottom of your screen at the end of the presentation, and I'll announce the questions to Andrew as they come in. Andrew, it's all yours.
All right. Well, thank you very much for Steve for going ahead and inviting Scanco to this webinar. We've been great partners for years now, and I just again want to thank you for going ahead and allowing us to go ahead and go over Sage Mobility and what you would actually be getting for free when you go ahead and upgrade to Sage 2018. So I'm going to go ahead and start my little presentation here. So a little bit about who Scanco is for those of you who don't know us. We were founded in 1989, and we are pretty much our bread and butter when we first started out was we were a leading provider of supply chain automation in the warehouse industry. Since then, just in even probably the past 2.5 years, we've also gone ahead and we've also acquired work orders, JDB Solutions, which was responsible for creating the work order scan and JO scan, if you're familiar with that. We've also acquired JobOps, which is also known as Sage Manufacturing. And most recently, ACS, which also has the efficiency suites to go ahead and help automate even further on the Sage side, your processes that way. So when you think of Scanco, think of us as a one-stop shop as far as a full umbrella of whether or not you're wanting to automate your warehouse needs or even your manufacturing. And so a little bit about our agenda for today is we're going to go over what really is mobility for barcode, some keys to success, why is mobility trending in supply chain, how to actually add Sage Mobility, what apps are included when you go ahead and get the Sage Mobility for 2018, what hardware we can typically use and to expect when we go ahead and use our mobility platform, what add-ons are available with mobility, and how to actually get the Scanco apps, how to contact us. And again, once we get to the very end, we can go ahead, do a full Q&A, go over any kind of questions. So write down your questions as we're going to be going through the demonstrations today. I'm going to go through some PowerPoints, and then even at the end, I'm going to do a live demonstration of how everything works. So what is mobility? Sage Mobility is the connection that's inside of Sage to all things mobile for Sage 100 and Sage 100C 2018 users. It utilizes the mobile apps to automate supply chain and customer-facing transactions. It provides the integration for real-time mobile connections directly to Sage from any iOS or Android device. All Sage 100 and 100C customers can get it when they purchase the Sage 2018 version. All Sage barcode module users will get it when they go ahead and upgrade to 2018. And the best part about this is it is ACS compatible with all of the applications. So any of the ACS enhancements can go ahead and be applied to any one of our products under our umbrella. So a little bit about the keys to success. What do we need? We want things to be absolutely simple, right? Apps need to be simple so users can use these apps on their devices every day. So adopting mobile in a business process needs to mimic those apps that they use every day. A user should be able to pick up their phone and understand how to use the app with little coaching. We like to always say that we like to keep things fat finger friendly. We like to take the transactions that typically might have a little bit more coaching and a little bit more training on the Sage side, and we make them extremely easy on the handheld. That way anybody can pick up a device and use them right away. We want it to go ahead and be easy to use and install. So going mobile needs to be easy as downloading an app on the iOS Google Play Store or the iOS Store. Whatever it is, we're a native application. You can go ahead and search those today, and you would be able to see our applications. We also want it to be real time. The real-time connection to Sage allows for better and more informed decisions. Gone are the days of the batch modes of having to import and export. When we go ahead and we talk real time, when your sales orders are created or you're going ahead and doing a physical count, everything is going to be seamlessly and completely updated in real time. So then that way you're able to make your better business decisions, whether it be actually predicting orders that are coming in, being able to check variances during a physical count, and so on. It needs to be flexible. Applications need to be flexible in design to change with the changing customer business needs. Let's be real, no one customer or company is going to be the same. So what we go ahead and do is we allow this system to not only be able to mirror everything that is in Sage, but what we can also do is if there's an actual special scenario, we have a full team of developers that could also add in any kind of special requests that may be needed. And also, most importantly, it needs to be scalable. Mobile apps need to be able to scale with the business growth and changing requirements. Whether that means starting small with the scalable 1, 2, 3 approach, or as we like to say, crawl, walk, and run, or whether you want to go ahead and start big in the very beginning and then maybe add on other ACS or Scanco efficiency packages to further automate the process. Whatever it is, we have a full scalable solution to go ahead and take even the smallest customer up to the biggest customer needs. So why is mobility trending in the supply chain? Well, increased productivity on the shop floor, distribution floor, mobile services and sales teams. Being able to have real-time information and real-time analytics, such as KPIs on users' efficiencies, being able to easily see where items are on the floor at a fingertip. Being able to see all this is going to be able to save time and be able to obviously be able to decrease your errors. Using the barcode to validate transactions, we've been able to see through studies that 1 in every 300 keystrokes results in an error. So using a barcode is an easy way to go ahead and validate your transactions as they're happening. That way, if you go ahead and scan the wrong item, it's not going to let you go ahead and proceed. Dashboards for real-time information. Visibility is key to be able to see what is happening in your warehouse or manufacturing floor. Using an integrated dashboard, you are able to see what your users are currently doing, the history, or you can even assign certain items for them to work on. Increased communication. Using in-app messaging, you can notify your users of any rush order by simply sending them an urgent message on their device that instructs them to stop what they're doing and to get a specific order out. You are able to activate user or user messaging so they can have quick and easy ways to communicate if they are on separate sides of the warehouse. We can decrease inventory carrying costs. This is key when operating in a high volume, low margin distribution or manufacturing company. Increase customer satisfaction. Using a barcoding solution, you will be able to eliminate shipping errors. You will know at all times what you have in-house, so you can trust that your inventory, when they call and find something out, if they call and they're wanting to know what you have. Eliminate data entry errors. Receiving is the first step. It's the right to making sure that you have the right products and making sure that you have the right inventory control. Knowing what you got and where you put it allows you to have visibility from the very beginning. And finally, eliminating picking and shipping errors. That can go along with everything that we had previously said before, but with being able to actually validate what is happening and checking everything in a real-time scenario, we're able to eliminate those picking and shipping errors. So how do you actually go about adding Sage Mobility module? Well, once you go ahead and upgrade to 2018 or 2018C, you will go ahead and notice that the barcode module has been rebranded to the Mobility for barcode. So what that would actually do, as you can go ahead and see here, is once it goes ahead and is rebranded for the mobility for barcode, you can go to the setup, and it has a full wizard that will take you step by step to actually go ahead and download it onto your system. Now, what everybody likes to go ahead and see is, what are we getting included with our Sage Mobility? Everybody likes free. So what we went ahead and did is, when we partnered up with Sage, when it came to this Sage Mobility, is we went ahead and said, if you go ahead and write this down, when you go ahead and upgrade to Sage 2018, you will get 5 free of our physical count licenses. This will obviously be able to allow you to take your devices out onto the floor and be able to do a full physical count, whether it be a cycle count or year-end count, and be able to have that seamlessly be put into Sage. So no more of the writing, handing the pieces of paper out to your individuals, sending them out onto the floor, having them count everything that could sometimes take hours, maybe even days before it's even handed in for data entry, and then waiting for data entry, obviously, to put it in to check the variances. With the physical count, we are able to go ahead, scan the items, collect the number that was counted, and then it is seamlessly and in real time updated into our Sage environment, allowing us for us to be able to check our variances very quickly and easily. Now, if you go ahead and upgrade to Sage 2018C, in addition to the 5 free physical count licenses, you will also get 5 free Scanco remote sales licenses. What this will allow you to do is, in a remote sense, if you have a cellular network, you will be able to have a real-time connection to your Sage environment, and you will be able to create sales orders, quotes. You will be able to look up inventory. So it's a really great tool if you have a remote sales team to be able to use this in a real-time scenario. Now, what hardware do we typically use when it comes to all the different mobility platforms and scanning? Typically speaking, on the iOS front, we usually recommend what's called the Linea Pro. Basically what it is, it almost looks like an OtterBox type like case that encapsulates iPod or iPhone, and it has the fixed imager right on the top. So what you're actually using is our application on the iPod, and we're using the scanning device to go ahead and collect our information. If you're more of an Android person rather than iOS, we also have the TC 510 right here, as you can go ahead and see. And depending on what kind of need your environment needs, whether it needs to be more ruggedized, whether it needs to be able to handle temperature requirements, food grade requirements, doesn't really matter. We have a full range of products that we can absolutely go over and recommend for you depending on what environment is going to be best suited for you. Now, what add-ons are available when it comes to mobility? As I was saying before, we have a full suite of products. So within the physical count is within our Scanco Warehouse 100 product. So with that, our Warehouse 100 product can actually do a receipt of goods. We can do a pick, pack, and ship process. We can do warehouse transfers. We could even go as far as actually creating alias codes. That way we can leverage the barcodes that your vendors are already providing for you and link it to your item numbers, being able to obviously increase the speed and effectiveness of being able to collect that information. We also have the work order scan utility that plugs into the work order module. We have Scanco Field Service. We have JO Scan, and that obviously is the data collection for job ops. We have the job ops tech dashboard. And again, this ACS manufacturing efficiencies, and for both manufacturing and warehouse. Doesn't really matter what you're really trying to do in Sage. We have a product that we can absolutely gear to you to help automate your processes. So how do I add Scanco apps for Sage Mobility? First step, you could either contact Sage or your partner, or you can come to Scanco directly. In this case, we work very closely with Vrakas a lot. So in any case, if you come to them or you can come to us, we would be able to partner up and be able to help you out with any kind of questions, whether it be a discovery call to go through your processes or as far as even going through a demo and a full sales process. You can start by downloading the apps from the App Store, and we can also do the installations, training, and support. So now that we've gone ahead and we've gone through our slides here, what I want to actually go ahead and do is do a full product demonstration of what you're actually going to be getting free when you go ahead and upgrade to Sage 2018. So what I have here on my left-hand side is my Sage environment. So what I'm going to go ahead and do to start off first is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring up my device on the right-hand side. Once this goes ahead and pops up. Very good. And what I'm actually using today is the Linea Pro that we had gone ahead and shown on the slides there before. So as you're going to go ahead and see here, this is just a typical iPhone or iPod in this case, and is in an encapsulated case. And what I'm going to actually go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and log in. Now, the really great thing to go ahead and do when it comes to the Scanco products is number one, we price things by licenses, but we can have as many user profiles within that. So we can have many individuals go share devices, and we could even either accept a lot of permissions within those profiles, or we could even restrict permissions on those profiles. But what it'll go ahead and allows you to do is to go ahead and log in with your username and password. We also have the availability to work within different company codes. So if you ever had different company codes in your system, this would go ahead and allow you to enter that in here. We also have this magnifying glass on the top right-hand corner that absolutely allows you to go ahead and do a drill down feature. That way, if you didn't know the information, it gives you the availability to be flexible and to be able to pick it right here from this screen. So I'm going to go ahead, dive into my company. And what you're going to go ahead and see is our physical count icon. Now with the mobility, the physical count icon is the only thing that's going to be able to be activated for you. So remember, when we go ahead and upgrade to Sage 2018, you're going to get 5 free of these licenses. So think of 5 individuals with 5 scanners heading out onto your floor and to go ahead and start their count. What we can go ahead and do is instead of having a piece of paper, we can actually hand these devices out, set our processes for our individuals to count our certain sections, at which point in time, we're going to go ahead and start a count by item. If you have different warehouse codes, we even give the flexibility to go ahead and do a drill down into each warehouse. So if we have a central warehouse, that might be 000, we might want to select that. But if we have different warehouses, it also allows us to go ahead and select that warehouse. That way, we're actually collecting the information in each particular warehouse. And then we are going to pretty much just go up. We can go ahead and envision us walking up to our places in our shelves. And this is where we would actually start counting our items. We can walk up. Preferably, we like to go ahead and scan. So what we're going to go ahead and do is scan our item, at which point in time, we would simply go ahead and enter in the quantity that we had gone ahead and counted. I'm going to go ahead and enter in that we counted 250 of item 6655. Now, that was a standard item, but it's also important to know that we also work, it doesn't matter what evaluation you're using for your items, we also work with allotted or serialized items. So if it was a allotted item, what we're able to do, we could even scan a allotted item, at which point in time when it's going to go ahead and ask us for our lot information. So we're going to go ahead and collect that lot information as we're doing the physical count as well. And then let's just go ahead and say that we counted 300 for this item. This would go ahead and continue along. Typically speaking, with this, I like to go ahead and suggest for my people after every 10 items that they go ahead and count, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and send this information into Sage. And once we go ahead and send that information into Sage, what that allows us for us to be able to do is if we go into our physical count entry, we can go ahead and see that everything is going to be completely updated in real time. So as I go ahead and scroll down here, we can go ahead and see the 250 for the 6655 that we had gone ahead and counted is seamlessly put in there, as well as the 300 that we had counted for the 8971. So if you remember kind of correctly, or if anybody's actually done, the pain of a physical count, it's labor intensive. A lot of times it takes a lot of people to go ahead and do this. And then it's also the data entry, the amount of time that it actually takes to be able to see everything in order to make your corrections. With this, we've seen our customers actually decrease the amount of time and even the people that are needed to go ahead and do a physical count by 60% through the studies that we've gone ahead and done, just by implementing better business practices, but by also leveraging the technology that we have at our fingertips to be able to see the variances right off the bat to say, you know what, how did you count 250 when we had 0 on hand? Or you can go ahead and check your variances to see if it's acceptable. So that right there is the physical count application and what you actually get for free. So again, once you go ahead and upgrade to Sage 2018, you will get 5 free licenses, and then you can basically, all that you're going to have to do is purchase the actual hardware to actually be able to accomplish this. So next, what I want to go ahead and do is go ahead and show you our remote sales. So let me go ahead, and just like we were saying on the bottom, all of our applications are apps. They look just like this. Now let's go ahead and dive into our sales application. So just as a reminder, once you go ahead and purchase or upgrade to Sage 2018C, you're going to get 5 free of those physical count licenses, as well as 5 free of these remote sales licenses. So just as we did in the beginning with when we logged into our mobility platform, we're going to go ahead and log in with our user profile into our sales unit right here. This is the interface. As you can go ahead and see, we have a sales order icon. We have an items icon. We can create new quotes, sales orders, customers. We can look up past invoices, and we could even see customer history as well. I'm going to go ahead and start off on a very basic but very informational piece, such as our item lookup. So with this feature, we could have sales reps go ahead and let's just say, you know what, they want us to know what quantity on hand they have for a particular item. They can go ahead, scan that item, and at which point in time, it'll give them the information such as the description, the price for that actual item, and then it gives the most useful information, what do you have on hand, and then what you actually have available. So what it's actually doing is it's already taking what is allocated to sales orders, subtracting what is allocated to sales orders from what you have on hand, giving you the true available quantity on hand in each warehouse. So if you're ever having to answer questions for whoever your customer is, as far as how fast you may be able to get a product or what kind of quantity you have on hand, it's very easily accessible to go ahead and see that information. Next, let's go ahead and dive into our customers. Maybe we want to go ahead and look up some customer information. What we can go ahead and do from that point is go ahead and select our customers icon. And then what we can go ahead and do, and it'll give us, again, everything is completely mirrored from what you have in your Sage environment. So all of the customers that you have in Sage will be able to be accessible on this device. You can go ahead and select a customer that you're wanting to check out, and then it's going to go ahead and give you, obviously, their address, as you can go ahead and see on the top here. But maybe they have 2 different locations. What you can actually do is click on that, and even our little informational icon that we have on the top right-hand corner here, if I go ahead and select that, it'll actually bring a map up of where that actual location is. So if you don't know where it is, it can go give you a full GPS as far as how to get to that location. Really neat feature for someone that's on the road a lot. It's also going to go ahead and give them the phone number in case they want to call them right from this screen. If they have a direct point of contact, such as Artie John, as you can see on the bottom here, it'll also go ahead and give them the email to go ahead and contact them if need be. It'll give them the terms code, their credit limits, their balances. That way you can go ahead and see what you can actually sell on the road. You can see what they have on orders. on quotes and what has been invoiced. And then just from a historical point of view, it's always good to go ahead and see maybe what the last 5 invoices that had gone through the system. So what it actually does, it'll go ahead and give the invoice number, the date of the invoice. It'll go ahead and give the first 3 items that are on that invoice. And what it'll also go ahead and do is this little gray box, it dictates how many lines are on that sales order. So if you can go ahead and see and you knew, oh, well, they only buy one thing, you would obviously know that, or they were only purchasing one thing right off the bat. You can see, you know what, I want to look up this past invoice. It'll give you the invoice number, the date, as well as who actually did a signature capture for that item, as well as what was actually sold to them. So a lot of useful information from a historical point of view if you're wanting to kind of see trends. Another really neat feature is let's go ahead and say that we want to go ahead and create a sales order from the field. As you can see here, we can create sales orders, we can create quotes, we can create new customers or even new contacts. For today, we're going to go ahead, I'll show you how we can just even create a new order, at which point in time, it'll automatically direct you. It'll ask you which customer are we creating this order for. I'm going to select my ABF customer right here. And then it's just going to take you through the same process that you normally would do in Sage, but what it's actually going to do is you'd be doing this on the device. So maybe you have an order date. Maybe you want to go ahead and change your ship date to a week from now. So you can go ahead and change that to April 2nd of 2018. If you want to go ahead and change the warehouse from where you're going to be pulling this from maybe you are looking an item up from the item lookup, you can go ahead and even change the different warehouses as you can see right here. You can go ahead and enter in purchase order numbers for customers. And then pretty much what you will see here is the bill to, the ship to, they have different addresses to go ahead and ship to. You can go ahead and select that there to go ahead and change the address to go ahead and ship it maybe to a secondary location. But as you can see here, we have nothing on this order. What we can start doing now is we have our boxes that we would want to go ahead and create a sales order for, or maybe we have a scanned, a barcoded cheat sheet. But what we can do is just start scanning our items that we're wanting to add onto the sales order. As I'm scanning these items, they're automatically being updated onto the sales order. So you can go ahead and see that we went ahead and scanned twice the printer stand at $179. It's automatically going to populate onto our totals tab, at which point in time, whenever we're done with this scenario, what we can do is hit done. And then once that actually syncs up, we can even email this to your customer. We can print it if you have a remote printer. We can print and email. So there's a lot of different options that we can go ahead and do right from there. Now, let's say a week goes by, 2 weeks go by. Maybe we're going to go ahead and do a delivery to a customer. What we can go ahead and do is to go ahead and confirm that we're actually delivering it to a customer the same way that you would go ahead and go into any kind of sales order. The only difference is what we've actually allowed is for signature capture. So let's go ahead and say, you know what, a week goes by, I go into the sales order, and I want to go ahead and, you know what, I'm going to actually sign for this order because it's actually coming in. I can go ahead and hit my signature. Right here on the device, I can sign my name, hit done. On the comment field, I can go as far as even typing my name, just like a UPS or FedEx would there, if the signature isn't legible. I can hit done, and then this will be completely linked to that sales order in Sage. That way you can invoice it at a later point in time, and you know exactly who actually received that order in. So a lot of useful utility when it comes to actually creating sales orders or quotes from the field, but also being able to deliver these products. Another neat feature is if we go into our settings, we also have credit card capturing, but it also has its limitations. So I do want to go ahead and show that our credit card processing tab, as you can see here, is web-based. So if you have any web-based payment solutions for credit card processing, what you can actually do is go ahead and enter in the website of whatever your provider is, at which point in time you would be able to do credit card capturing, and it would just simply open up the link to that browser to be able to collect that information. but everything would be able to be done right here from the device. So as I went over before, whether we're actually looking up sales orders and they're already created, I can look at them up by customers to go ahead and see all of the available sales orders that are in Sage. For a filtering tool, maybe I just want to look at it by a number to see all the available sales orders that are in Sage. Or maybe there's a date range that I'm looking at. I know that I went there of Tuesday of last week. I can go ahead, change my dates to Tuesday of last week, show orders, and if there are any orders, it will go ahead and give you that date range. So a lot of flexibility to be able to see the information that you're needing to see, to be able to create the information that you're wanting to create from the road, and then to also be able to fulfill these orders as they are happening in real time. So if anybody has any further questions, I want to go ahead and open this up to any Q&A that anybody might have, and we'll be able to answer any questions.
Okay, Andrew, I'm going to steal some of your thunder for a second. One of our customers implemented the Scanco barcode solution, I want to say July of last year. And this is real, not one of our statistics. They undertook and barcoded all their inventory, about 5,000 SKUs. And they also did something completely insane, and they decided that they were going to serialize all their inventory at the same time. So roll forward to December, and previously their physical inventory counts used to take 3 people 4 days to do, and they would finally get it resolved and get a corrected inventory. So this year, 2 people, 2 barcode scanners, 2 days, including the serial numbers. So they were just thrilled with being able to tighten up their inventory control, and also be able to do their physical inventory count with less people and more accurately. So anyhow, just want to throw that in there. Anybody hear me?
Very good. Yeah,
Okay.
Absolutely. Very good, very good.
So we do have one question. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I see the one question. If you are new to inventory control, where do you get the barcodes to apply? So there's a few different ways to go ahead and answer that question. On the most, I would say, beginner's way of actually going about and doing that, we can go ahead and use crystal reports that are already in Sage to go ahead and start barcoding your forms. So you can barcode your sales orders, you can barcode your purchase orders, and even go as far as barcoding your items on those purchase orders or sales orders so that they're able to just scan the sheet. That might be, for instance, a pick sheet or an inventory sheet and so on that way. Other than that, we do have MP2 printing software. We also have a SkyPrint printing software that actually allows you to go ahead and pre-print labels. The MP2 printing software is a very robust printing software. It can allow you to go ahead, as I was saying, pre-print your purchase order labels as they're coming in. That way you go ahead, you have a truck already, pulling up to your dock. You can pre-print those labels. That way you're slapping them on the boxes or on the items as they're going on the shelf. We can also pre-print serial numbers, lot numbers, whatever you're actually needing, we can go ahead and do that. And when it comes to those label designs, and whenever you do purchase the MP2, we absolutely help you create one physical label design, whether that be logos or different informations that you want on that label. But we also teach you how to do it. It's important to also enable everybody to be able to be self-sufficient in the event that you want to go ahead and change a label. Maybe your inventory labels are different than your shipping labels, right? So you want to be able to have the flexibility on your own to go ahead and create those on your own. So when we go through the full training process and you actually purchase that software, we train you how to do that to be self-sufficient on your own. Are there any other questions? I guess I just wowed everybody is what I did here today.
Okay, well, if we don't have any other questions, I'd like to invite everybody to come back again for our May webinar that's going to be covering Sage Basics, some tips and tricks, put on by one of our homegrown consultants. Thank you all for attending. We hope you are able to take away something from this, and we look forward to talking to you in the future. And thank you, Andrew. Appreciate it.
Great. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Steve, again. And everybody have a wonderful day, okay?